This podcast is part of the BombPod Media Network.
Oh, it feels great to be back.
It seems like we were gone for so long.
We did the live show.
We did, and it was really fun.
It was fun. Rob got really drunk.
I did get pretty drunk. It was pretty sweet.
I got a little. I drank one beer and got a little bit. I felt my teeth got a little numb.
Yep.
If you didn't listen to the live show,
It was all right.
yeah, kind of. I can imagine for someone that is a podcast snob, it would be hard to listen to because all the background noise.
Yeah, there was a lot of noise.
But we're back in the Brohio studio.
We are, yeah. It was we had a good week. I should say live show for our first one. It wasn't too bad at all. We had a okay turnout.
We called it a bonus show.
Yeah. Everybody there was awesome.
Bogus. Yeah, and
The brewery itself was amazing. The owners were great.
yeah, Lucky Star Brewery. Thanks to the people that did come out. We met a lot of good people, a lot of fans of the show.
Thank you guys very, very much. It was awesome.
It means so much to us.
Hopefully we'll get to meet and hang out again.
Yes, it's going to happen.
Eventually.
And we've had a lot of new reviews lately,
All right.
and I wanted to read a couple of these reviews.
Did we get any 1-stars?
No.
Aw, come on, guys.
We've only had the one,
Yeah.
and I don't...
Disgusting.
Yeah. Foul.
Yeah.
So foul.
You got a point.
Yeah, we are kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the glory of it all.
Yeah. So let me start from the top here because
Go ahead.
there's some good ones. Hold on just a second.
All right.
First one here is from CallieCat03. She says,
That's a fun name.
Callie Cat.
Callie Cat.
I love kitties. I like when my kitty,
Callie.
I get out of the shower and then I lay there on my bed all naked, and the kitty cat, she'll jump up there and she'll brush up against me on my bare ass.
Speaking of kitty cat, where is she?
We had her put down.
Aw.
She's eating too much.
I'll miss her. R.I.P.
CallieCat03 says, I am listening to this at work and I can't stop laughing. This is one of the best podcasts I've ever come across.
Oh,
I
stop.
love it. I love the fact that you're so close to me, and I can't wait to meet you guys. That's Heather from Nature versus Narcissism podcast.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
They're new. You can check them out. That's Nature versus Narcissism. That's a hard word.
It is. It's a fun word, though.
Yeah. And then we have a review from 1369493.
Oh, this is going to be great.
It's really good. That's all I said. It's really good. And then Moss Daddy, you guys are great to listen to. Great details and comedy. Perfect mixture. Have listened to all your episodes at work.
Oh, thank you.
Looking forward to many more. Thank you.
The first ones are kind of rough.
I don't think so.
I do.
The thing about
We got into a nice groove there.
The thing about podcasting is when people first start out, they usually have really bad audio.
Right.
But we've had really good audio since the start, which makes it a little easier to cope with.
Yeah. I kind of pride myself on that,
Yes.
so it's
Just stroking your boner right now.
yeah, I'm just
it
fluffing
away.
my ego a little bit here, but yeah, it's all right.
And we got HLH11. This is literally my favorite podcast to listen to,
Thank you.
especially in class.
Oh, good.
If you're listening to Brohio in class, there's a good chance you're going to drop out.
You're gonna fail.
And our next one, Brelhar. These guys are hilarious and have really interesting content. They keep me laughing through my workday, and the episodes feature themes that keep my brain working. I highly recommend.
My brain never works, so at least it's working for somebody.
Yeah. I mean, if jerking off is working out, I'm a powerhouse.
Right? Power lifter, strong man.
Yeah, as far as working out the brain, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And last, our newest one, Shay Shook. This one came across today because when you leave a review, it takes a few days to come across. It
Okay.
says, I adore these men and their podcast. Oh, how sweet is that?
And that is very sweet. I like that.
I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but
I don't care.
Shay Shook.
I will touch your butt.
They adore us. I adore these men and their podcast. I travel very often, and there's no one else I'd rather turn to for my long flights. I have already run through their entire playlist and really hoping to have new episodes soon as they have become a part of my daily life.
That's so sweet. I like that.
That's touching.
Let us be a part of your family, everybody.
We talk the talk like we really nasty human beings, but we are really appreciative
Absolutely.
and so thankful because without you guys, we're nothing.
Yeah, we really aren't. I mean,
We're just big fat turds.
we just drink beer and try to get away from our family for a little while each week.
White dog turds.
Make me lick the white dog turd.
And if you do, or if you're so inspired that you want to support the Brohio Podcast Show, then you can support us on Patreon. BrohioPodcast.com Patreon.com/BrohioPodcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Or anything you want to donate, whether it's $1, $2, whatever. We're thankful for everything. We're trying to upgrade our audio equipment.
Trying to get some sweet swag out.
Yeah. We also have a PayPal set up now. I haven't told Rob about this.
No, you haven't. That's awesome.
But just BrohioPodcast@gmail.com. Send us $1. Send us 50 cents. We'll pay the fee. We'll eat the we'll eat the shit on that one. If honestly, we're not begging, but if you do feel inclined to support us that way,
it's very, very, very appreciative.
Yes.
We definitely thank you guys for that. Leaving reviews, iTunes reviews, that's a big thing. Or just talking to us on social media.
To a lot of people.
We talk to everybody that talks to us.
We got the streak going. We don't let anybody just sit there and not get a response from us. We talk to them.
Yeah, even if you sending over hairy buttholes or something,
we haven't got any hate mail.
We haven't.
I can't believe how
I know
all this shit we've talked about and all the mean stuff we've said.
Yeah,
we have not got any hate mail.
That's going to change now.
Yeah, it's probably going to be from someone that always talks to us, though.
Right? Yeah.
Like a loopy loopster.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, why don't you take this and slam it up your fucking ass?
It's usually me that just comments on stuff. I'm like, yeah, you guys fucking blow.
We do. We do.
We don't judge.
And my wife sent a snap to Robert today. We were at Cracker Barrel, and there was a really old couple sitting there.
There's a table of old people.
There was 3 females and 2 males.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, babe, that's me, you, and our other 2 friends, or other 3, 4 friends, whatever.
And then my wife.
And Robert's wife. And she's like, well, where's Robert? I said, he's dead from AIDS. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, and I said to her, I was like, how does he know about my AIDS? She's like, he gave them to you, duh. I was like, but he outlives me? That's fucked up.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. That's sorry if you have AIDS.
Yeah.
We're not making a joke at your expense. It's
we are.
Okay, we are. So this week, what do we got on the old table here?
We're doing Nocturnal Death Syndrome.
Doing dead people. Again.
This is definitely a thing.
Yes, it is. It's the old, you die in your dreams, you die in real life scenario.
I was reading about this.
Yeah.
It totally freaked me out.
Yeah.
Because it can happen to anybody.
Yep.
More specifically, men between 18 and 40 years old.
So still,
I'm right there in the wheelhouse. I just turned 30.
And if you're from Southeast Asia, you're totally fucked.
You're so fucked. Because there is a story, we'll get to it later on. There was some indigenous people coming out of Hmong, or I don't know.
Yeah.
When we get down there, we'll talk about it.
Laotion.
Dropping Laotians. Yeah, they were dropping left and right.
Yeah. So let's I guess we'll just kick into it here.
Yeah, Wikipedia was a really good source for a lot of information here. I hate when I listen to a podcast, because sometimes I'll listen to other podcasts for inspiration.
Right.
And then you can just follow their entire podcast down the Wikipedia page.
Been there.
You got to try a little bit harder than that. We've both been there. Sometimes that's the best research.
Sometimes it really is. There's a lot of things, a lot of these topics that you'll find, there's not a lot of sources of things.
Sporadic shit.
And it's recycled research over and over again. So it's kind of hard. But you got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do. And we did ask for some listener stories on this one.
Yeah, we got some good ones.
Yeah. And I was searching all over for, we normally start our episode with a funny newspaper article. I couldn't find anything this week. I was finding videos.
That's another thing. If you guys find those, we've had a couple people send some in. If you guys find some crazy, ridiculous news articles, especially if you live in Florida, because everything's fucking crazy down there, they send them over. We'll if they make the cut, we'll shout them out here.
Yeah, and then there was that shooting in Texas today, and obviously we're thinking of those people down in Texas. There was a mass church shooting. It's kind of been under the radar for most of the part, but there were something like 27 people were killed in that.
Jeez.
And if you know someone that you think is on the brink of doing something like this, just fucking kill them first before they kill everybody. That's probably the best way to go about it.
It really is, honestly. I would say so.
Just have them follow you into a garage with the car turned on. Once they get in there, lock it up, keep them in there. It'll look like a suicide.
Done.
That's
mission accomplished.
We're not true crime professionals. We do cover some true crime stuff.
Yeah.
I think as far as killing someone, that's a good way. If you do kill someone, a pig farm is a really good place to take them.
So I hear.
Because pigs, they'll just eat the shit. They'll eat the ass out.
They don't care.
I mean, I'll eat the ass out, but a pig will really eat the ass out. He will eat the ass.
Like there's no tomorrow.
And that's the thing about getting older, our age. When you're younger, you have standards and whatnot. But then you get to our age and you're just like, oh, fuck it. I'll eat some ass. I don't care. Just put it in there. Lay it on my face
Put it on my face. I'll eat it.
Like an open face roast beef.
I think this is top notch stuff right now. We're at the top of our game right now.
If
talk about eating ass.
If you are listening to us for the first time, I'm sorry. This is what you get though.
Yeah, you signed up for butthole jokes. You're getting them.
And if you're not familiar with the taste of ass, just take a handful of pennies and lick it, and it's basically the same taste.
Kappa.
You didn't suck on coins when you were a kid?
No.
That's why my teeth are so fucked up. That's why I got these little sharp teeth. That's why if you look at me just right, I look like Bill Wilkins. Because I really am Bill Wilkins. I bet you didn't know that, you sorry son of a bitch, did you?
I did not know the entire time. I thought you were Nick.
Fucking dead wrong.
Well, I want to get started here with
nickel and dime teeth.
You think about I know personally whenever you first told me about the story, and I thought about nightmare death syndrome. So pretty much you're dying in your sleep. The first thing you think of, the first thing that I thought of at least, was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Fuck that place.
Every time you see an Elm Street, you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Now, in case you've been living under a rock for the past 33 years.
A long time.
Yeah, a long time. I'm sure that you've heard of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It's one of the most successful horror slasher movie franchises. The first movie was actually released back in 1984. And this is where Wes Craven first introduces us to the iconic character Freddy Krueger. As
that series progressed, it came to that one, I think it was recently, where the newer one.
Yeah, see, the first movie especially was really scary. It was really terrifying.
Totally bummed me out to find out he was a child molester, though.
Yeah, he murdered and raped kids. That's kind of sad, but
I wanted to like Freddy.
Yeah, I know, right? He's so like, he gives all those dad jokes, and he's like lovable, and
Freddy fingered.
Yeah,
Freddy didn't get fingered on that.
Yeah,
one.
He kind of fell into the same category as Chucky.
Yep.
Whereas he kind of just was like throwing dad jokes all the time, and then it was just game over. It wasn't so much scary anymore. Now Krueger is pretty much the epitome of the boogeyman. So, he has his good old Michael Jackson claw glove, and
I was going to talk to you. I want to do an episode on the boogeyman, because the boogeyman is a real fucking thing.
Well, it could be anything.
Yeah.
That's such an open-ended subject.
I know.
Yeah.
I got to reach around from a boogeyman one time. It was behind a subway.
It was just a guy with snot all over his fingers.
I was holding onto a dumpster really tight, but he did it. He pulled it off. I still got the teeth marks to prove it.
So he has a sweet claw glove and a nice sexy burned face. But the scariest part of all, which I think is the part that makes him probably the scariest slasher villain, is that, when he attacks you while you're sleeping in your dreams, and he kills you. And of course, like I said, if you die in your dream, you die in real life.
Coward.
Yeah.
Looking like he just got face fucked by a dragon.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. The director, Wes Craven, has talked about his inspiration for the movie a lot over the years. And he says he came up with the idea for Nightmare on Elm Street after reading an article that he found in the LA Times about a family who survived the killing fields in Cambodia. Now,
The Killing Fields?
yeah, so it's they're not trying to hide the name
Christ.
too much. The Cambodia Killing Fields, for those who don't know anything about it, it's a site in Cambodia where over 1 million people were murdered and buried by the, I think it's Khmer, Khmer. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The Khmer Rogue regime. This was from 1975 to 1979. They analyzed over 20,000 mass graves and found at least 1,386,734 victims of execution.
My God.
Yes. So the Khmer regime in total, though, the deaths range around 1.7 to 2.5 million, and that's including all the people that they've murdered and deaths from disease and starvation.
Imagine the poor turd that had to count all those bodies.
Yeah, it's a horrible job.
That's a lot. I get, when my kids, they'll sometimes say, hey, I can count to 100. I'm like, don't even fucking think about it. I don't fucking care.
Like, you can? Okay, good. I don't care. Please don't start counting.
1, 2, 37. You fucked up. Quit. Stop.
Let me start over. 1. The family that survived the killing fields fled and came to the U.S. Of course, who wouldn't? But a young boy in the family...
That's all going to change soon as soon as we get that wall up.
A young boy in the family from then on suffered horrible nightmares. Now, Wes Craven said this. He told his parents that he was afraid that if he slept, the thing chasing him would get him, so he tried to stay awake for days at a time. When he finally fell asleep, his parents thought this crisis was over. Then they heard screams in the middle of the night. By the time they got to him, he was dead. He died in the middle of a nightmare. Here was a youngster having a vision of a horror that everyone older was denying. That became the central line of Nightmare on Elm Street. And that's pretty cool. Now,
You know what that is. That's spoopy.
that's very spoopy. I said that a couple times in my research here. I believe the article that he said that he found, I think I might have found the one that he was talking about. I didn't find the whole thing. I found this little excerpt here. It says, in 1981, the Centers for Disease Control began tracking a mysterious rash of sudden, unexplained nocturnal deaths occurring in apparently healthy male immigrants from Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. The problem, unknown in other ethnic groups, has now claimed more than 104 men, averaging 33 years of age, and 1 woman, according to Dr. Gib Parrish, a CDC medical epidemiologist. 98% of the deaths occur between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m.
And that's when you sleeping.
And that's when you be sleeping.
You're supposed to be up in the morning cooking breakfast or something. You know, when the car go by, woo woo. You remember that?
The whistles?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whistlers.
Car go woo woo.
Yeah.
And we're going to touch more on the Laos deaths here later in the show. I have a lot of information about that.
Good.
I would like to pass on to the masses of the Brohio Nation.
Pass it.
We went live on Instagram briefly right before the show started.
Yeah, for a few minutes.
And then one of our listeners, Swamp Gas, just wrote us and said, why in the fuck would you go live right at the beginning of Walking Dead? Well,
People
because
still watch that?
We're both 30 and we've been laid, and we don't watch that show.
I stopped watching it after like the 3rd season.
We are the only 2 people in the world that don't watch that show.
Yeah, I got tired of it. It was literally the same stuff every season. But let's not get... This is where our hate mail is going to come from right now.
I'm sorry. I don't watch Game of Thrones either.
I do. I just started watching Game of Thrones. I'm on like the 3rd season, but still.
I just don't have time for anything.
Yeah, that's true. You've only watched 1 episode of the 2nd season of Stranger Things, so I'm judging you horribly.
Bear with me.
I've already finished it. I'm ready to talk to you about it.
Yeah. And it's... To go back to the subject at hand here, we have a lot of different names that relate to this. We've pitched it as Nightmare Death Syndrome.
Yeah.
Because that's the absolute scariest thing you can call it.
Yeah, and it's right to the point. It's not scientific or anything like that.
And
our layman brains can comprehend that.
Yeah. We've got the sudden, and listen, Rob and I, we went to a really poor high school. We've got about maybe a 2nd grade reading level. So some of these medical terminology, we're not going to be able to convey to you perfectly how they're pronounced. I'm going to try my best, and I'm really happy I can say the fuck word again, because I didn't say fuck at the brewery, I don't think.
I don't know if I did. I'm sure I did. I was pissing so much that who knows.
Right. It's okay. First, we got the sudden arrhythmia death syndrome, also known as SADS.
SADS.
The pearly
It's so
gates.
depressing.
How'd you die?
SADS.
SADS. I SADS to death. Okay. Send this one to hell. I'm so SADS. You got the sudden adult death syndrome, which kind of goes in parallel form with SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome, which is the saddest thing in the entire world. You got the sudden unexpected / unexplained death syndrome, SUDS.
Suds. That's not what SpongeBob got on that episode.
I was sucking on some suds. You got sudden unexpected / unexplained nocturnal death syndrome, and that's kind of the other one that linked our research the most when I searched the word was nocturnal death syndrome. And then you got bed death. Have you just ever had some trucker slut ride you so hard that you thought you were gonna die right there in the bed?
She gave me bed death.
That old bitch, she's riding me so hard, her goddamn teeth fell out on my chest. And then I died right there in the bed, and I had a bed death. I came back to life, though. She breathed life right back into my pee-pee. I drank me one of them Rough Riders. Had me one of them Rough Rider condom pills. What? When you go to a truck stop, you ever look at the medicine at the counter that you can get?
The dick pills and the
dick pills, and stay awake
64-hour energies, yeah. Pretty sweet.
As a science experiment, we should chop all those up one time and snort one right before show. Just see what the fuck happens.
Or you can just do what most truckers do. Just snort some coke real quick.
Yeah, just I don't know if you have any trucker friends on here, but when I go to truck stop, all the old guys have like piss on their pants and they smell like shit. They can see their bubbly prostates pushing out of the back of their jeans. They're in there like, I need to buy a donut. I gotta sit on a donut in the truck.
Pushing in their pink sock.
I got my big old shit tube hanging out. I gotta go pushing on my shit tube. It hurts real bad.
You can usually always identify them.
And the best thing to prevent these type of things is to drink a beer with your asshole every once in a while. Brohio style, do a little butt chug.
What up?
What's up, butt chug? Normally, the doctors always claim this to be a heart-related death.
Right.
But that's what we're trying to debunk here. These people aren't dying from heart diseases and shit. These people are dying because of scary fucking shit.
Yeah.
And we've got the listener stories here.
There's kind of a scientific
sure
answer for that as well.
There has to be. There's scientific rationale to everything.
Yeah.
It's whether you believe it or not.
Right.
And most of the time I don't, because I reject everything in my life. That's all right.
That's true.
So the symptoms, well, an overview of the possibility of the nightmare death syndrome is cardiomyopathy, congenital heart disease, or CHD, myocarditis, genetic connective tissue disorders, condition disease, whatever the fuck condition disease. That sounds like a blanket for everything.
Right.
Oh, I can't stop shitting my pants, and I got this green stuff coming out of my nipples. You've got condition disease. Oh, okay. You're going to have to brush your teeth with Vagisil.
It's like everything's just like common cold. It's like that's condition disease.
And gargle with the yellow pledge. You can't use the orange pledge. You got to use the yellow pledge. The wood cleaner? Yes.
Got to get that citrus in you.
And you got rare heart conditions such as early repolarization syndrome, mixed sodium channel disease, or short QT syndrome.
What up, short QT?
Hey, short QT coming to you for the making records for the 2000. Back in my day, back when they backed that ass up.
Juvie.
And in most extensive research, in 5% of cases, they don't find a reason for death at all.
No.
So these motherfuckers are just plopping over in their sleep. They're just dying.
They're like, ah.
And they can't figure it out.
Poor people.
Yeah. But they do take a lot of things into consideration, such as nutrition, toxicology, heart disease, metabolism, and genetics. So
just blame it on genetics.
If I die in my sleep, they're just going to take one look at me and be like, do we even need to cut this son of a bitch open?
This guy's had Taco Bell the past 6 nights.
We did an autopsy and we cut him open. And it was mostly sausage gravy. It didn't smell that bad.
You don't even bleed anymore. It's just gravy.
It's just gravy and Kool-Aid. Not that green Kool-Aid. Did you ever have green Kool-Aid?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Twice in my life. This might be big in other parts of the world.
Yeah, I don't think I have, honestly.
It's fucking rough, man.
Me, it was always that perp.
Oh, that perp drink.
I always had that
orange.
Perp.
My mom would make it, the orange stuff, so fucking thick, I'd have to chew the sugar when I swallowed it.
Really?
And no one can figure out why I'm fucking pre-diabetic right now.
See, my mom was the
Opposite.
They were the typical white mom where they would measure the shit out. And then, and then growing up, I had my first thing of Kool-Aid from like a black family.
Yeah,
and it was the best Kool-Aid I've ever had. It was Kayla's family. I went over there and she gave me, I was like, this is the best Kool-Aid I've ever had in my life.
I had a cooking class, and one of my good friends, one of my good black friends, was in there with me. He's like, I make the Kool-Aid. I'm like, all right, make it, man. And he brings it to me, and I took a drink. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, this is majestic.
This is the fucking goose juice right here, buddy. So put some fucking lead in your pencil.
Yeah.
Bend over.
That's that good shit, man.
Some of that good.
Oh, I love it. So good.
Make some after I'm done here. And let's get back on topic here. We're kind of straying off the path. That's all right. Although there's no true cause, research does show that those who are 18 years and older have suffered from a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a condition where the heart muscles become oddly thickened without obvious cause. That's what happens when you're doing too many fucking Kegels. It gets it gets too thick, and then you fucking die. So I don't know if I guess most guys like it tight down there. But thicken that shit up, you gotta do some Kegels.
To each their own, I suppose.
Yeah, I like it. I like it like a manwich, just real fucking sloppy and fucking. Oh my!
You like to know you don't have to do too much hard work.
I like it like a big old Arby's Montana. Arby's Big Montana. Put some extra horseradish on there for me.
As long as it's in there, you don't care.
Oh, Jesus.
Sometimes I use a Hot Pocket instead.
Oh my God. We're gonna get there, guys. I promise.
No, we're not.
And like we said before, it's mostly young people that are ID'd with the sudden death shit. Other common finds are the coronary artery disease.
CAD.
Yeah, CAD. An atherosclerotic coronary artery disease.
Jesus.
I'm trying my best with this shit. But here's some statistics for you. A lot of people, I don't know how they would trace this, but they have percentages of what these people complained of before they had this nightmare death syndrome. 52% had complained of chest pains the week before it happened. Okay. 22% complained of dyspnea, which is where you can't breathe, where you lose your breath all the time. 7% complained of syncope, which is fainting from not enough blood to the brain.
Holy shit! They're just being choked out constantly.
This all connect. I'm going to all this chest pains, dyspnea, where you can't breathe, and you got the syncope, or fainting from not enough blood to the head. This all connects in the end. Okay.
Or
19% had no symptoms at all. This is all fucking shit I go through when I tie my fucking shoes in the morning. When I have to bend over, I'm left-footed, so I can get to the left foot kind of easily. But anytime I have to go to the right, I've obviously got to the point in my life where I need Crocs, okay? Crocs are the easiest way to go. But I go through all this shit when I have to tie my shoes. I get chest pains. I'm down there. I'm wheezing like I got a fucking chicken bone stuck in my neck. Trying my best. So then I got to raise up, and I got to push my belly in real tight, and then I got to lean over I got to lean over it.
You got to push aside the fupa.
That's what I'm doing in my life right now. And for those of you that don't know what a fupa is, fupa stands for fat upper pussy area, or fat upper penis area.
You can have them all over your body, though.
You see some people where they pull their jeans up really tight.
Yeah, it's called the chub and tuck.
Yeah, they got that really big fucking piece of fat right underneath the belt line.
Yep.
And sometimes if someone's got a really nice fupa, I just want to run up to it and grab it.
It's glorious.
Shake it like a goddamn pancake.
I always drop my favorite YouTube channels I listen to. There's a YouTube channel called H3H3, and Ethan, the host of that, is like the Fupa King.
Oh, is he?
He is, yeah.
Get him on the show sometime.
Their podcast is crazy.
Really?
It's so good. Their studio is ridiculous. But yeah, it's the Fupa. You gotta look that up if you don't know what it is.
And now I'm going to touch on my history that I came across in my research as far as the nightmare death syndrome. In 1980 is where the first reported pattern emerged to the CDC. And anytime you get the fucking CDC involved, there's usually zombies or flus,
right?
People's assholes falling out, shit, fucking bleeding, mosquitoes are killing people. I think
it's just disease control.
Later on, we can do an episode on the CDC because I think there's such an insurmountable mountain of shit there.
Yeah, they probably covered some crazy shit.
Yeah. The first reported in 1948 was there were 81 deaths in Filipino men in Oahu County, Hawaii. The thing was, back whenever this happened, they're just kind of like, what the fuck? It's kind of thinning out the population. They didn't really care at the time.
Right.
In 1948, they didn't really care about anything besides fucking killing Hitler.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
I think he might have already been dead by then. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We're a little historically inaccurate, but it's all right.
But then in 1981 to 1982, the annual rate in the U.S. increased to 92 men out of 10,000. Then you have the Laotion Hmongs, which were refugees, like Rob touched on earlier. 82 out of 10,000 were dying from this. And then you have some Cambodians, 59 out of 10,000. And if you do hear some thunder and lightning,
I was going to say, sorry about the thunder in the background if you can hear it.
We're in Ohio. It's November, so obviously we had tornado warnings today.
Yeah, there's a tornado that just hit like 50 miles from here, maybe.
Not even that far. It's like 30 miles.
Yeah, maybe.
Fucking destroyed the city.
Yeah, it's gone.
So
that's fun.
We're going to take some bottles of water up there tomorrow. And you have an elevated rate in the Asians, the Laotians.
Yes, Laotians
and the Hmongs. And I'm going to touch on the New York Times article. I don't know if you did anything on the New York Times article.
I didn't write anything down about it, but I read it.
Okay. This goes back to San Francisco in 1981. There was a substantial amount of deaths occurring that the Federal Center for Disease Control, they finally got involved. There were 18 healthy Laotian refugees that died in the middle of the night while in America. Just land of the free, home of the brave.
And dead.
We got doctors. These motherfuckers are just dropping dead in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So CDC's like,
what the fuck is going on?
We better go check these guys out. Make sure they don't got that Spanish mud flu. They got the shit. They got the poop so bad. They got the shit on their socks. Their moccasins are all dirty from the poop. We gotta check them out. And the thing about the Hmongs were they were from the Laotian mountains and they did not speak. They were completely gone from society. They like their language had just come along in the few years before they seek refuge in America. So these people couldn't even communicate. If there was something that they had contracted that they were bringing over, there was no medical documentation from back then or from where they were coming from to say, hey, this is what we've been dealing with. So the CDC is essentially receiving these cases and these people are just dying and there's no one with their finger on the pulse to say, this is what you might have. This might be the issue.
Can you think of how difficult it would be to create your own language if you haven't spoken? Like, how can you even convey what shit means?
Have you never seen Billy Madison? Tabadoo, tabadee. I think it would be quite, gibberish?
Yeah.
I think it'd be quite easy. I think if you're close enough to a human being, you can create a language with them.
I don't know.
I can communicate with my children without speaking. Certain looks and whatnot.
Well, you got to if you get that angry dad look, then they're gonna know that shit's about to hit the fan.
Oh, his eyebrows are touching. You better get the fuck out of here.
His fupa's throbbing.
his fupa,
it's shaking.
It's gyrating. Grab it, make it stop. And the reason for the deaths of all these Laotians, it was all chalked up to cardiac arrhythmia.
Okay.
Fairly common. That's where. Oh God, this is so hard for me to explain.
So it's pretty much when you're beaten out of
sync.
Out of sync, yeah. Your heartbeat's not a.
There's some electrical pulses,
right?
And everything gets out of fucking discombobulated because when you go into REM sleep, everything in your body slows way down.
I'll get into that a little bit more.
Okay,
we touch on that.
Yeah. And the thing was, pathologists weren't very forthcoming, but there was an underlying rumor that these deaths were occurring during states of nightmare. There was kind of conflicting reports that people that were around when these people were dying could tell that they were distressed while they were sleeping, and then they would wake up the next morning and look over and they're dead. So for me, obviously, they're having a fucking nightmare, a really bad one. And you wonder what kind of shit these people were getting into. And this is where they fucked up. They worshipped, well, their religion was called animist, Animist, animist. Now, the thing about animist is it's governed by spirits and manifestations of the soul. That doesn't sound like anything that could possibly get you in trouble.
That's pretty peaceful.
And I did read some other stuff that there could have possibly been a lot of cases with this involving Native Indians.
Native Americans, yeah.
So those are another group of people that kind of seek stuff that we don't normally think about as far as like I said before, the spirits and the manifestations. Right. But there was a lot, like I said, conflicting reports that they died a lot in sleep, and it was said that they were dying because of nightmares. Definitely not a way I want to go out.
Yeah, I would rather not die from a nightmare.
How would you want to die?
Are we realistically talking here, like for real?
Yes. Please tell me.
Please tell me. Like, are we talking like in a non, like, I'm just going to die in my sleep of old age type of way? Because, I mean, obviously, I'd like to live a nice long life and just pass away nicely and easily in my sleep.
That's my next question. Are you afraid of death?
You know what? I think that at this stage in my life, like if I was to die, if I knew I was going to die tomorrow, I'd be terrified.
I get that.
I would like to see my kids grow old and marry and grandkids. Once I want to die old. As long as I can see that stuff, I'm happy.
You want to see your kids get chicks pregnant at 16? Shit?
Yeah.
You want to see them like
just perving out on their girlfriends,
fucking drowning. Like, I don't know what to fucking do. Well,
I've been there before, man. I know.
Had a quarter and I didn't buy a condom. That's how I got you.
Yeah, so you got the other end of the spectrum. You got the fucking don't ever look at a boy spectrum.
And if you are listening, feel free to write us and tell us how you want to die.
Yeah,
because
I honestly don't know. I mean, if we're talking like a freak accident death,
yeah.
If we're talking freak accident, I mean, I'm wanting like a crazy car crash where my head gets cut off or something like that.
I picked
something quick.
I picked death by dick.
Ooh, like Mr. Hands.
Yeah, I'm at Walmart and I get
a horse just runs through and just fucks your brains out.
Yeah, he just comes bucking out of the animal aisle. I'm like, oh, when did they get horses?
I didn't even know.
Gets me over a fucking pallet of dog food and just starts. Have you seen a hard horse dick before?
It's terrifying.
They're the angriest looking things in the entire world. They look like
it's like blunt swords.
Like fucking aliens. Just an alien with a helmet.
Yeah.
I definitely
asking someone how would you like to die is a really weird question.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know, because even if you think about it now, like I'm sitting here thinking about like just dying and not existing.
Yes.
And it's a very surreal, very strange feeling.
And I've been getting so sad about this recently as I've had my 30th birthday party and I'm starting to think I'm 30, I'm halfway to 60.
We're getting there.
60 is pretty much a wrap at that point.
Shit, I just turned 31.
Yeah. So is life potentially half over for me? Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can start exercising, eating some salads and shit.
Yeah.
Some lentils. Quinoa. I don't know. I read this shit online. I don't know what the fuck it is, but they say you should eat it. Was it H-Town Witch? She's always posting really pretty pictures of food and salad.
She also has a sweet ass hedgehog too, though.
Yeah, we're gonna abduct the hedgehog. That's fine.
Yeah,
and I've been getting sad. And the saddest thing for me is thinking about my dog. If I die, like my fucking kids are mean to my dog. My wife doesn't really like him that much, so I'm like his only constant in the entire world. What if he just wakes up and I'm not here anymore?
Poor guy.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what death is.
Poor guy.
He's just sad that the hand that's fed him his entire life, all 12 years, is gone.
Just going to be like I said in the live episode, it's going to be like that Futurama episode where he just goes and sits on your grave until he dies.
Yeah. And I know we probably have some pregnant listeners, and they're just fucking crying right now. They're just crying. And I'm sorry to do that to you.
Death is a very fascinating topic.
It is. So we'll hop back on subject here.
How do you want to die? Let us know.
Yeah, please tell us. Death by horse. Death by dick.
Death by
horse.
decapitation.
Death by horse dick. And as far as these refugees, there was a coroner from Minneapolis. Shout out to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
What up?
Our researcher, Courtney. She's awesome. She's fucking awesome.
She really is.
Dr. Michael McGee, this is quote, he says, I know what they didn't die of. They didn't die of getting shot in the head, stabbed in the heart. They didn't fall off the roof. They didn't get poisoned because we did an autopsy in each case and we got a big 0. Well, if that's all it takes to become a fucking coroner.
That's like the worst coroner examination.
And make $300,000 a year.
I don't know what it was, but I'll tell you what it wasn't.
Sign me up. I would get all these students from colleges coming to watch me perform autopsies.
What kind of a diagnosis is I know what they didn't die of?
He's the one corner like, I'm starting a new revolutionary procedure where I start to cut the body from the butthole. And then we cut from the butthole up the back. And we can really dive into the spine and pinpoint exactly what they died from.
Oh, God, this guy.
I know what they didn't die from. They didn't get shot in the fucking head. Well, thank you.
Anyone with fucking eyes can see that, buddy.
And then the Filipinos have a name for this nocturnal death syndrome.
It's the best name ever.
And I don't know how it's pronounced. It's called bang un gut. So this is all one word. Bang, U-N, un, and then gut. G-U-T.
Bangin' gut.
Bangin' nut. I'm calling it bangin'
Bust a nut.
And then I said the word bangin' nut, and I thought about banging my nut on a table or something.
Oh, man. If you hit a toe on like the edge of the table, it's like your life is ending. And imagine hitting your testicle.
I had to climb a fence. I had to climb a fence the other day, and I couldn't fucking hop over it.
I would have paid money to see that.
I straddled it, and then I just rolled to the other side and completely rolled over my nut. And I thought I was moving towards the light. There was a hand that extended from heaven, and he's like, "You're coming with me, Nick. Thanks for doing Brohio." And I'm holding my balls. This is all for a stupid fucking frisbee for this dog I was just talking about. Pissing blood. No, I wasn't pissing blood.
Was it Bruce?
No, it was
Yeah.
Ace. It was the black guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we got some spoopy stuff to...
Very spoopy.
All right, so there were certain beliefs in the Hmong culture that said that these were possibly deaths from pressing spirits. So they called it nocturnal pressing spirit attacks.
Okay.
That doesn't sound trippy at all. And this kind of goes back to our sleep paralysis, or our, no, it wasn't shadow people? Shadow people episode.
Yeah.
A lot of sleep paralysis goes along with shadow people. But like I said, we're touching on that again here. In Indonesia, it was called the diguition, that translates to pressed on. And this is essentially where you're asleep, you wake up, you're frozen in terror, you can't move, and then you have a black spirit, or in some instances, she's called the night hag. It's a really old, dirty hooker that sits on your chest and they
sucks the soul out of your body.
Literally press down on your chest so hard that you die. And the Hungarians, I'm going to try really hard. Not if we have any Hungarians, I'm sorry. This is called the Bajnorkni Umas, meaning witch's pressure. That sounds kind of hot too.
I like that.
Just get sexually attacked by a witch.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it.
There we got the fucking fucked up hands, long noses,
just crooked ass fingers.
They've always got an apple though. I like to eat.
It's like they got really bad arthritis.
Yeah. You think I can eat that apple right after I'm done eating that ass?
Right out of that asshole.
Give me some of that green asshole.
Granny Smith asshole.
Put some of them green apple splatters on my chest.
Let me drizzle my caramel all over them apples, baby.
And like I said, in Newfoundland, it's the spirit of the old hag and the experience of sleep paralysis called the agrog, meaning hag-ridden.
I don't know anything about Newfoundland. What do you think that accent sounds like?
Oh, it's probably something kind of like this, where it's kind of Swedish and kind of Canadian, but yeah, you know, kind of different, but Yep.
Newfoundland.
I think there's such thing as Newfoundland, like a dog.
Yeah, there is.
Big old fuckers. Big old red rockets. Big fucking dogs. In China, it's called the Bigaya, which translates to crushed by a ghost.
That was so good.
And
You've been practicing that.
I learned that at McDonald's today.
Bigaya.
Bing dong yo. The Dutch call the presence Nachtmerrie, which means obviously nightmare. Mary comes from the Middle Dutch mare as an incubus who lies on people's chests, suffocating them. And you can go back to our sex demons episode.
Full fucking circle.
Yeah. You see how that works?
Ties right in. Go listen to it.
The phenomena is well known among the Hmong people of Laos, where this is attributed to an evil spirit, Dab Swam, pronounced Da Cho, said to take the form of a jealous woman. This is fucking good stuff right here. Hmong men say even they will go to sleep dressed as women.
Yeah.
These fucking dudes are so afraid.
I've read this too.
Of being attacked by this, whatever it is, this thing that kills you in your sleep. And it only, like we said before, this is all male-related deaths.
Only one woman ever, so it's...
Between 18 and 40 years old. So these guys are dressing up as women.
To avoid these things happening to them.
They dress up as a woman and they go to bed.
I feel like that would be too much. I don't know. I couldn't be comfortable dressed in like a wig and a dress. And
during my research last night, I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, put on some deodorant. I came to the bedroom. I had my shit all tucked back, like up in my ass.
Yeah.
If you pull your penis back really hard, you can get it to stick between your butt cheeks.
Okay.
But sometimes if your penis isn't long enough, you can just use the skin of your sack. And you really push it up in there, and you can get it all to stay back there. And I laid down, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to keep him away, babe. I'm trying to keep your baby boy alive." That's the only way to do it. You got to dress like a woman when you go to bed.
You know, that really like solidifies what my bedtime routine now.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
No,
Just
not at all.
Stop and have your rich chocolatey glass of Ovaltine.
Yeah.
And then tuck your penis back.
All in a night's work.
Trouble-free at that point.
Right, exactly.
When the outbreak of this syndrome became a lot, when there were a lot of Southeast Asians involved, they weren't able to worship properly due to guerrilla warfare against the government of Laos with the United States. And the Hmong people believe that when you don't worship properly, the ancestors of the spirits or the village spirits don't protect them, thus the evil spirit will reach them. These attacks often induce a nightmare that then results in sleep paralysis when the victim is conscious and experiencing pressure on the chest. It is also common to have a rim. Anytime I read the word rim, I just completely lose it for some reason. When your REM is out of sequence where there's a mix of brain states that are normally held separate, that shit, like we said before, gets all discombobulated, essentially causing the death. And bang a nut. Yeah, and the old bang a nut, there's a myth, in the Filipino culture, there's a mythological creature that's related to the bang a nut called the batabat or the bangagot. Not to be confused with the bang a nut. So you can bang the bat, you can bang the got, but just don't bang the nut.
Yeah.
According to this, what I got here. And that, again, is like a hag-like creature that sits on the victim's face or chest and it immobilizes them, essentially suffocating them.
At that point, would you... that's a good way to go out.
No.
No, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I can't do it. Not doing it. When this occurs, the victim usually experiences complete paralysis. It's said that one should bite their tongue and wiggle their toes to try and get out of the paralysis, or they may die from suffocation. Other things to reference when you're looking for bed death: the Brugada syndrome, night hag, sleep paralysis, sudden infant death syndrome, sudden unexplained death in childhood, and the Yana sudden death syndrome. Yeah.
That's some heavy stuff right there.
That's some really heavy stuff.
Anytime you can drop SIDS in there, it's a solid research right there.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
And the thing about SIDS is it's so just...
It's a very broad... It's one of those...
And there's nothing that makes sense of it.
No.
There's no way to make sense of it.
Nothing at all. It can be the smallest thing. That's like the one thing I was like worried about the most, having a
child.
Having a kid, yeah.
That's... And to give you guys some solid truth right here, we got some research from Dr. Frederick Eckner of the University of Illinois College of Medicine. he did detailed examinations of these victims and their hearts and found that 18 of the hearts were slightly enlarged. 17 showed defects in their conduction systems. The fibers were frayed and curled. It's like an old decrepit wiener. And it was just like the heart. He said the heart shorted out. Like we said before, they're the electric pulses of the heart. Dr. Robert Kirshner's theory is that something at night, perhaps a random electronic discharge, and yes, perhaps a nightmare, overloaded these defective hearts, causing the sudden death. This makes the nightmare death all more curious, since studies of whites who die suddenly has not shown the same defect.
So from what I've read, now I'm going to be completely butchering this because I'm not a scientist and I didn't write this information down.
I am a scientist. Please go on.
From what I've read, the scientific belief of what they think is happening is that when you go into REM sleep,
Rim job. Yeah.
or when you're sleeping in general, your heart rate slows down because your body's not moving. You're kind of just chilling like a potato. So your heart stays at like a slower rate than what it usually does because it doesn't have to fuel your body. Well, whenever you're having a night terror or a nightmare, that all of a sudden causes your heart rate to completely jump and speed up, and it goes into terror mode.
It's like when you're laying naked on your couch, flipping your diddle, and your mom knocks on the door. You're like, shit, fuck.
Hurry up, try to put your dick away real quick.
It's fine. Come in. You changed my diaper.
And like if you're going through the sleep paralysis or the night terror thing, your body is essentially on lockdown. So your body's not moving, but your heart rate skyrockets so high that you essentially have a heart attack. And this is why they're saying that it can happen to anybody age-wise, from young to old, and it looks as if it's a heart attack. Because if you're within that sleep paralysis stage, you can't move, you can't do anything about it.
No, and I don't think people are dying from sleep paralysis.
No, not at all.
I think they're just dying, like you said, from the overload.
It's from being at a slower rate to all of a sudden racing, and then your heart rate just keeps increasing because they say nightmares will last, or night terrors, which I'll get into a little bit, last anywhere between like 5 to 25 minutes.
I think we're ready for the night terrors portion, and I have some stories after that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get into that. Now, night terror, it's a sleeping disorder, and that's caused by feelings of terror or dread, and these usually occur within the first hour of sleep. Now, there's a list of symptoms here for night terrors, and they're kind of a little all over the place. You got sudden awakening from sleep, persistent fear or terror that occurs at night, screaming, sweating, confusion, rapid heart rate, inability to explain what happened in your dreams, usually unable to recall that specific nightmare or dreams, and they may have a vague sense of frightening images. So you can't, this is where it varies and where it changes from nightmares, which I can touch on here in a second.
Yeah, and the coolest thing is when your kid gets a night terror for the first time, and it's
never happened to me, thank God.
Blood-curdling banshee scream.
Has that happened to you?
Oh yeah,
really?
I have girls.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
They fucking scream.
2 of my boys are afraid of their shadows, so that's kind of surprising that I haven't had one.
Yeah,
but I couldn't imagine. I'd be terrified.
It's bad. And the thing about night terrors, people have conditions where they are having night terrors every single night, and they have to seek medical attention and get, medicated because they're suffering from night terrors so badly that they can't live their fucking lives, which is terrifying in itself.
Right.
I hate nightmares.
I don't remember the last time I've had one. My nightmares usually don't make sense.
I hate vivid nightmares.
Yeah,
see, someone close to you dies.
Right.
And in my research, I found that when you dream or have a nightmare that someone dies, that is you essentially closing the chapter on a certain point in your life. You kind of coming to a close with maybe possibly quitting a job, moving out of somewhere. It usually signifies something ending in your life, and it doesn't always necessarily have to be bad.
It's just kind of bridging that connection between loss and your real life events.
Maybe you quit smoking.
Hey,
maybe you quit choking yourself while you jerk off. Whatever it is, death in a dream or a nightmare isn't always necessarily a horrible thing.
Right. Now, with night terrors, many people will see things like spiders or animals that are in the room with them. They aren't able to awaken themselves. They are often difficult to comfort or have no memory of the event after awakening the next day. Right. So, and I'm going to get into nightmares versus night terrors here, and there's a lot of differences here, which you can kind of tell one from the other. Now, nightmares happen during the dream phase of sleep. So this is about 90 minutes after you enter your REM sleep, your REM job sleep. So during a nightmare, the sleeper will become frightened, but they can recall vivid memories of what's kind of like a long movie-like dream once they awaken. So they're able to tell, like, I had this horrible dream last night. I was, running from the boogeyman with my pants down, and he had a hard dick trying to, fuck me in the ass. And you can paint pictures. That's a beautiful story. Don't take that. I'm going to copyright it. They can paint these pictures of exactly what their dream was and of what happened. Now, night terrors happen during a phase of deep non-REM sleep, which usually happens within the first hour after you go to bed. So you're not in full REM sleep yet. So your body's just getting to the point to where it's shutting down. So the night terror itself usually lasts, it's a little bit shorter. So it lasts around 5 to 25 minutes, like I think I said earlier. So,
you know what is a night terror for me?
What's that?
When I wake up in the middle of the night and it feels like there's a fucking sandbox in my mouth.
Oh, that's so bad.
And I go to the kitchen to get something to drink and there's nothing but water.
My night terror is whenever I sleep on my arm and it goes numb. And you try to fight the pain. You're like, no, I'm not going to let it get to me. And then you just have to just let it go. And then your arm feels fucking horrible.
The worst part about an arm or a leg falling asleep is the bounce back. When it starts coming back, you can't
move it.
Pins and needles.
Yeah, it feels like it weighs like 1,000 pounds.
Pins and needles.
It really feels like it's somebody else's arm. Jerk off with that, kids.
I'm big enough that where if I fall asleep on my arm, and I've made several references about how fat I am this episode.
He's not that fat,
People
guys.
are going to think I'm...
They're going to think you're like 500 pounds.
What's eating Gilbert's grape? They
right.
cut me out of a trailer to get into the podcast every week. But if I fall asleep on my arm, there's a good chance I'm going to lose it.
Your fingertips just turn black.
It's dead. Frostbite.
Well, it was a good run, arm.
Looks like frostbite. No, I fell asleep on it. Are you going to eat that sandwich over there?
You have just a chicken wing clutched in your hand.
Never let go, Jack.
I know you're going to cut my arm off, but can I keep that chicken wing?
Never let
go. The weird thing, even the frightening thing, I should say, about the night terror is that the person that's having them will be sleeping, but they can actually have their eyes open.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing better than that shit.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. So, I mean, you're looking at the difference between nightmares and nightmares. The main thing is that it's different stages of sleep, and you're able to recall your nightmares. Night terrors, you're usually not able to remember, to recall what you dreamt about.
Yeah.
Which, with that being the case, you don't really know what triggers it, because you can wake up and you could be completely terrified, but the next morning when you wake up, you have no fucking idea that it even happened.
Oh God!
So it's fun. It's like your brain just hitting the delete button. Like, no, we don't need that.
And a lot of the nightmare and night terror stuff that I was looking into, there's always a constant figure in all the bad nightmares and night terrors. There's just like a fucking guy with a black face just standing around watching the shit go down. And that terrified me more than anything.
Right.
Just always a man in the corner. Doesn't speak. Doesn't have emotions.
Shadow people.
He just stands there and watches. But that's the thing. It was more elaborate than shadow people. He's just a constant figure. Like he's just standing there judging you.
It's like the night terror demon.
Yeah. You ordered dessert tonight, you piece of fucking garbage.
You know you're watching your weight.
You're going to be on that treadmill tomorrow.
You want to get in some stories?
Yeah. I'm going to start off with a story here. This is These are all listener stories. I think one or two we might have found on the old Reddit because that's where all the fucking worst stuff in the world is from.
That's where you got to get your news.
Yeah, this one says, and I asked people to come forward with nightmares where you felt like you were going to die, or the fear alone in this nightmare was so immense that it would, possibly warrant a fucking heart condition.
Right.
Like, it's so bad that the shit just quits.
I just want to go out on a little tangent here. Not even necessarily a tangent, but I really can't remember, like I said earlier, the last time I've had a nightmare. But I remember a reoccurring nightmare that I had. And they say usually with nightmares, it's usually things that you're either scared of in real life. Like if you're scared of spiders, you're going to have nightmares about spiders. Or it's something weird that like freaks you out. Now I'm going to tell you this dream that I constantly had when I was younger that scared the ever-loving shit out of me.
Please go on.
But I have no idea why it scared me. I don't get it. Like, because I'm not scared of this at all. I would be in a room. It's me in a room. I'm already freaking my shit out. Like, it's a weird style room where it's kind of like an optical illusion room.
Oh no!
Where it's like
you fucked up already.
Depth perception, where it looks like a really long hallway, and it's like black and white checkers all the way down. So it kind of messes with your eyes already. Oh, no. But at the very end, it's far away but really close. There's I'm gonna try to be as proper as I can with this.
Roger the rabbit.
No, there's a really scary dwarf.
Oh no!
Who has these huge, and I'm gonna say this, but it's not what you think. Who has these huge balls?
Like testicles?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like these huge like gym kickballs, okay. Like when you're in middle school, and he's just sitting there chucking them at me, and I'm just trying to avoid them.
Oh my god, that's so trippy.
No, I had this dream tons of times when I was younger, and it scared the shit out of me every time I would have it. And I mean, I'm not scared of balls. Let's just bring on the balls.
Yeah,
I'm not
balls everywhere.
I'm not scared of little people.
Hit me in the face, hit me in my balls. I don't care.
I'm not scared of optical illusions. I don't know where it came from, but to this day, I still remember this, and it scared the shit out of me.
I had this. Dude, this is kind of scary too. And this, you talking about that, kind of brings me back to this reoccurring nightmare when I was a child. That the entire floor, my entire house, like I could see myself there sleeping, and the entire bottom of my house would just give way.
That's terrifying.
Like a sinkhole.
Have you looked into sinkholes before? I was going to say, the earth is terrifying.
Yeah. And well, at one point in my career, I did do like geotechnical drilling where I would test soil and whatnot, and we did some sinkhole stuff. But the earth would fall out from below me, and I would like tumble into this underworld.
Oh, it's so scary.
And it was this underworld was like a really dingy, grimy, big city, just darkness, like futuristic shit. And I'm just like on the sidewalk in my ripped up pajamas, and it's raining, and it never the sun never shines in this place, and it's always dark, and it's always rainy, and there's just people going by, and they have fucked up faces, and they're like, "What the fuck are you looking at, kid?" They're constantly screaming at me. And one thing I've read in my research is you can't have a dream or nightmare and there be somebody in it that you've never met before.
Yes, and I don't believe that. I read that too.
But if it's someone you've seen on TV or a movie, they can be in the dream. But you can't dream about someone you've never physically seen before. So
because I find it weird, because usually anytime that I have a sexy time dream, it's usually someone that I don't know.
Yeah.
Or that I don't recall. I may have seen them. I know a lot of times you'll dream about people that you've either mentioned or that maybe you've like you're scrolling through the old Facebook and you see somebody you haven't seen in a while, like somebody that just kind of gets in your mind but you don't really think too much of. That'll happen to me.
When I have a wet dream, I dream that I'm fucking a pillow, and I wake up and I'm fucking the pillow.
I've never had a wet dream,
so I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, I've never had a wet dream either. I've
always been jealous of people that have had them, and I'm like, I never had one.
One time when I lived with my parents, I was sleeping on my back, and I had one of those morning erections. They call them morning wood.
Yeah.
And then in my dream, I'm like, man, I got morning wood, but I really got to piss. And then I started just pissing in the dream.
It's so hard.
And I woke up.
No pun intended.
I'm like 16, and my mom's walking into the bathroom, sleeping on the couch. She didn't see me, but I'm pissing like a 5-foot fountain straight up in the air with my wiener hanging out of my boxers.
Oh,
Just
man.
straight up in the air.
Isn't that the worst? You dream you're going to piss and then you have to piss. You're pissing your pants?
No, I don't really if this happened, I just really piss myself.
Right.
It's a really unfortunate series of events. But the 5-foot fountain straight up in the air, that was completely embarrassing.
It's impossible to aim when you got a Woody too anyways. That's already...
It hurts.
It really does.
There's no...
You get a constant stream, but you also get a little steady drip as well.
Yeah, it shoots out the sides. It's like holding your thumb over the edge of the end of a hose. That's
right.
Exactly what it's like.
That's exactly what it's like.
On to our stories here.
Anywho.
In the dream, I get impregnated without actual sex happening.
Okay, this is steamy. I like this already.
Oh, yes.
This is good.
And this little baby slithers out of me.
Ooh, it slithers. Ew.
It's and I don't know how to pronounce this. It's edamame size, translucent, and teardrop shaped without a face. Fucking kill it.
Fucking holy shit.
I know it's a demon baby and that it's going to grow up to be pure evil. I know it's going to become a monster and cause the end of the world and me along with it, but I want to protect it. I flood my entire house up to my neck so that my demon baby can swim around and grow bigger.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
You said this one was on Reddit? Or somewhere online. It wasn't a listener dream.
I can't remember.
I hope it's a listener dream. Please, if it's yours, please tell me.
Yeah. When I talk about evil, I'm talking about the kind of evil you see in comic books. I don't really believe in evil. I think mostly people are just misunderstood. Even Hitler was just a real misunderstood motherfucker.
Okay, that's going a little far.
No, this was not a listener.
Okay.
I think this is a Reddit. That dude just wanted to be an artist. That's not me.
That's what it says.
Yeah, I know. I think we can all relate. I'm a dominatrix, so I advertise myself as a bad girl. Do I seem like a bad girl? My job is essentially to hurt men. I hurt them, yet I also nurture them in ways they don't even understand themselves.
I get that. Okay.
Oh, God. And our next one, this has a reoccurring monster in it, and the monster is named The Darkness.
The Darkness.
I think I've watched that porno before, The Darkness. There is actually this monster that used to appear constantly in my dreams. I call it The Darkness. I've never seen the monster's main form.
I believe in a thing called love.
But it can appear any way it wants to. Usually there are two ways this monster will appear. The monster will at first appear like a normal person in a crowded place, like a mall.
Okay.
I will at first not even realize that this is the darkness, but then things in my dream will change. I will continue to appear more and more. It will continue to appear more and more in its human form. This is usually when I feel something's not right. Then everyone else, except for the darkness, still in its human form, will disappear. My hair stood up right there. Then, keeping in its human form, it will run towards me at extremely fast speeds, and once it reaches me, it will grab me. After that, the dream will end. This is way more rare, but is where the monster got its name. I will usually be in some room in my house, and for whatever reason, I will go to another room. The room I enter will be dark. As soon as I enter, I know what is going to happen. If I try to escape the room, I will just be pulled right back in. Things get suspenseful. Then I just close my eyes. It is a habit for me to do this because I can escape my dreams this way. Then it grabs me, and the dream ends. The only detail I've gotten from when it has grabbed me in my true form is that it has extremely long fingers. I don't know what it looks like because, like I said, I always close my eyes when it appears.
Slender. As
I've gotten older, the darkness has been appearing less and less, so I can't really describe some details because it has been a long time since it has last appeared.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's kind of goes along with what we said before, where these people that have these reoccurring nightmares, there's always a dark figure kind of lingering around, always watching. Kind of spoopy.
Very spoopy. The next one we have is our listener.
Yeah.
Listener submission here. This is AEIOU Unicorn. Is that right?
AEIOU Unicorn. Yes.
That's so clever. I love you.
She's very nice. She was really awesome to talk to.
Thank you. This one says, "Hi.
Hi.
I have a very vivid, usually awful dreams, but the one that stands out the most started when I was in high school. I got mono my senior year.
Kissing disease.
Very, very much so.
Them sucking face of them fucking vampires.
I got mono my senior year and was out of school for over a month. That was the first time I had this nightmare. I was underground Wading, is that wading? Wading through pitch black caverns in warm, waist-high liquid.
Oh, God.
I could see dim light coming from the entrance to the cavern on the far side of the massive tunnel I was in, and could hear what sounded like murmuring. As I made my way... We got a high budget here. As I made my way toward the cavern, the liquid I waded through got warmer. Someone pissed.
And just me pissing.
Sorry.
Anytime I plop down in the pool, I always like to make sure they don't got them blue pills that they drop in there where you piss yourself and then the water around you turns purple, and then everyone's like, "Oh, look at that kid! He's fucking pissed himself in the pool. He's got the purple stank wank cloud all around him. He's pissed himself in the pool."
The stank wank is going to become a staple in our episodes now. The liquid I waded through got warmer, and the noise got louder until I realized I was hearing suffering. It sounded like thousands of voices whimpering, crying, and shrieking. When I entered the cavern, I could see rows of people all the way up to the impossibly high ceiling, all hanging from the walls with huge hooks through their shoulders.
Oh, God.
They were all alive and pouring blood from their wounds.
Fucking run.
The walls, hooks, and people were all covered in blood, and I realized I'd been wading through a river of blood. The room started to spin faster and faster, just a blur of red with a black dot in the middle. It suddenly stopped spinning on the black dot. It was a man, very pale, nicely dressed in a black three-piece suit. He had dark brown, wavy hair that hit his shoulders, and his eyes were completely black.
Did he look like Jeffrey Dahmer?
The hooks protruding from his shoulders were sparkling, with not a spot of blood.
He was unaffected by the hooks.
Yeah. He stared directly into my eyes, and no matter how badly I wanted to look away, I couldn't. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. His eyes felt like they were burning holes into my brains. I was in actual pain.
Oh, shit.
I woke up in such a pain that I thought I was dying. It turns out that was the first of many migraines I would experience. For about 5 years, anytime I would get one of those while I was sleeping, or finally fall asleep with one, I'd dream of those caverns and of him. Now, brains do weird things when they process pain. Mine made me dream about hell, which I don't believe in.
I would have to imagine that's what you were definitely dreaming about.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Oh, I've never had anything that fucking crazy.
No,
before.
I've never had anything that dark and ominous, and
If cocaine's a hell of a drug, that's all I can say. If I had a nightmare like that, I would have to wake up and just start bashing my fucking head into the wall.
I don't know what I would think, honestly.
God.
Like I said, I've had some scary dreams before, but it's nothing like that. That's pretty vivid.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And
Yeah.
We have another listener story here. This is from Sam.
Sam.
He wrote us on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Sam F.
Yeah.
He said, the nightmare that sticks with me the most happened when I was a kid. My mother and I lived with my grandparents. In the dream, someone is kicking in the front door. My grandfather has his revolver wrapped up in a sheet or towel for some reason. And anytime you have a dream, it involves an old man, a crazy old fucker handling a gun. That's bad shit. Because old people, they do fucked up shit.
That's not a dream. That's real life.
I don't know how many times you read in the news about an old man just killing his wife after like 55 years of marriage.
Right.
I was just tired of her fucking mouth. I fucking blew her goddamn brains out of the back of her head. Fuck it.
30 years of bad dinners will do that to you.
So my grandfather has his revolver wrapped up in a sheet or towel for some reason. He's trying to get it unraveled throughout the entire dream, but it's not coming out. The door finally gives and I wake up. It's not supernatural or anything, but bothered me so bad that I still vividly remember it and the feeling I had when I woke up over 30 years later. And he also went on to tell us that he has a lot of wet dreams too. I'm like, that's cool, man. That's, you're one of us.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
You're one of us. So yes, you're allowed to talk about wet dreams.
Of course you do.
He said you're going to save those for another time. We're going to share those over a nice...
We're just going to have a wet dream podcast.
Yeah. Next week on the Brohio Podcast Show.
Wet dreams.
We are going to be covering wet dreams. We're going to be doing it in 1950s boxing accents.
The wetter, the better.
We're going to pretend like we're at Madison Square Garden and Muhammad Ali will be taking on the heavyweight champion of the world. Wet dreams.
Don't call in unless your boxers look like they've been through Katrina.
Wet dreams.
It's such an entertaining compound word there.
Sax demons. And my notes are blank now. I'm all tapped out here.
Wait, let me check mine real quick. And I'm done. It's been real, guys. See ya.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye. For real, though.
Yeah, that's it for the
That's it.
Nightmare Death Syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to say that, yes, it is possible to die from a nightmare.
Absolutely.
Because your shit can scare you so bad. Next week, we're going to cover nightmares that scare you so bad you shit your pants in bed.
Spoopy.
I actually had an incident happen where someone took my pants off of me and shit in them and put them back on me.
You're fucking lying.
No, this is serious. People try to convince me that I actually poop my own pants.
I know my turds. That is not one of my turds.
Listen to me. I know my fucking life, all right? I did not shit my fucking pants last night. Someone snuck in here, slipped my drawers off me, and shit at them, put them back on me.
In the meantime, if you shit your pants, give us your story.
And if you just give me a minute, I'm going to go out here in the shower. I'm going to clean myself up. I'm going to waffle stomp this turd down the drain because I don't know what else to do with it. I'm going to shake it out and I'm going to waffle stomp it down.
Your Honor, I'd like to present Exhibit A. This turd. Yeah. This is not my turd.
Someone snuck in.
This is Exhibit B. This is my turd.
I ain't had corn since the county fair, and that was in July.
The consistency's off. The shape. The smell.
Listen, from working in a prison, I'm going to tell you something. There's no worse smell
Oh, God.
than the smell of mashed up grown man shit. You think stepping in dog shit will ruin your life?
We had the story where I stepped in a human turd. That's pretty bad, too.
Yeah, it was one of our first episodes.
I don't remember. I think it was like our third or fourth
We
episode.
were walking all over their carpet and shit.
Fuck, man. I'm never going to forget that. Every time I drive past that building, I shake my fist at it angrily.
Hey, yo.
I remember that turd.
And your man poop. You stepped in a homeless man's shit.
Yeah, a big fucking log, and it was stuck to my boot.
Oh, my God.
That fucking asshole. He knew what he was doing.
We have to end this episode.
Well, thank you guys for listening. We, of course, Nick is on vacation next week.
I'm going to Phoenix.
He's going to
Phoenix, Arizona. If we got any Phoenix, Arizona listeners, and you want to hook up with me and get some stickers while I'm there,
Yeah, take some.
reach out.
We're gonna do our show.
I'll meet up
separated.
with you guys. Yeah, we'll do crack in an alley somewhere. I don't fucking care. Or whatever, meth, amphetamines, whatever they do in Phoenix. Meth.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I guess 'cause that's where Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Around that parts, them parts. Yeah. Give them some of that blue. But yeah, we don't know what we're doing yet. We'll figure that out within the next couple days and let everybody know.
Don't forget to review us on iTunes. And if you're one of the people that did review us on iTunes, send us your address.
Send us your info.
Sticker. I'm sending out a batch of about 20 stickers tomorrow. So if I've promised you stickers in the past 3 weeks and you haven't gotten it, it's going out tomorrow. So
yeah, we'll eventually get our shirt game going on again. And then I know we say this every week, but we'll get it there.
Costs a lot of money.
It does, and we're both unmotivated fucks. So
Yes.
if we can get an assistant to help us do that, that would be great.
Just fucking print shirts for us for free.
Or somebody that can design logos.
I think the Bomb Pod Media Network is working on something for us as far as setting up a shirt shop.
Cool.
So
Now we just need somebody to help us with our design.
yeah,
I got it. If any of you guys anything know about graphic designing, let me know.
yeah,
We'll figure something out.
We'll hook you up. So,
Yeah, we'll definitely get you. We thank you guys very much for listening. Another week of the Brohio podcast.
And Bill Wilkins.
And Bill Wilkins. And a bunch of poop stories. That's pretty cool. Love you guys.